All right, so I'm going to show you how to confidently drive launch readiness without drowning in meetings, and using it with some techniques you might have been familiar with already, but put together in such a way that are a little maybe more logical and practical than and with a lot less moving parts. So let's get into it. Here's my promise. I'm going to show you how to set up a proven system so that you can drive launch readiness with confidence. So what does that mean? It's going to take a whole lot less of your time. Time is money, my friends. It's going to be simple to implement. It can't be complicated. You can't have to learn a whole bunch of new things and force everybody to change what they're doing. And it's going to give you better visibility to all of the work in progress around a launch. All right, so launches have many, many moving parts, right? So I'm just going to focus on one thing today, and that is managing launch readiness. And that's sort of that project management, visibility, confidence of knowing what's going on and where things are tracking, right? To make sure that you get as successful a product launch as you possibly can. Now, I want to make one really clear point. I'm not going to guarantee you're going to have a successful launch because there's lots of things that can go wrong. But I can tell you this, that I'm going to promise you that you'll know if your launch will be successful or not, because you'll know whether you're ready, and you'll be able to answer that question that your CEO or boss asks you, which is, so will we be ready? Are we going to be ready in time? All right, so what are some common problems with managing launch readiness? Well, there's lots of them. I'm going to focus on a few. One is it takes way too much of my time. I mean, way too much of my time. So let me take you back to my first experience with launching a product. And I got to tell you, I mean, I was all excited. I was new at it. I had moved from a role from development into sales engineering, technical pre-sales, and then now here I am, a product manager, and I'm like, this will be easy. It's like managing a project, right? How hard could it be? And sure enough, I got started, and I realized pretty quickly I wasn't as comfortable about knowing the things that I thought I knew about, right? So my confidence waned, and my boss helped me out, and he gave me something from a previous company that he worked at, and it was basically an Excel spreadsheet. It was every row represented a functional area, and every column represented a week, and he said, okay, plop your deliverables in each one of the cells. And I swear to you, it looked great when I first got it done, but I didn't know how long things would take. So what I did is I wound up just slamming stuff in there, and then I'd have to spend days, hours moving them from cell to cell as I got the status, and it was annoying. Now, that was a long time ago, so there's a lot better ways of doing that, but it really hasn't gotten a whole lot better. So what do? We have lots of meetings. We have meetings, and more meetings. Some people aren't at those meetings, and something wasn't clear, so we have to have follow-up meetings. And there are individuals that weren't able to make it because they were on the road or they were doing something or they didn't understand something. So then you have to follow up the follow-up meetings with one-on-one meetings. And then you ultimately have those uncomfortable meetings with your stakeholders where they want to know what the heck's going on, right? So why are my people taking so much time with this? Why aren't we moving along faster? Now, the second thing is it's too hard. The tools, what I hear is the tools I have are complicated. And honestly, maybe they're not complicated, but the frequency at which you use them is what makes them complicated. Like you have to relearn them every single time. And then some people lament that I'm not a project manager. I don't have all the qualifications, the PMPs and everything. So this is just overwhelming for me to manage. And then I have the problem, as your organization gets bigger, you will have this problem. I got different people in different functional areas, and they're using different tools, and these tools don't work together, so now I can't see the big picture. And then all of this leads to the accuracy of your launch readiness status. Where are we is in question. So it's always in question. Now, the third one, which I love, is there are too many surprises. I don't really know what's going on. Now, I'll tell you know what's going on and I feel confident, or I express that I'm confident, but deep down inside, there's always that nagging feeling that something's going to come out and bite me. I find that I can't always trust the accuracy of what people are telling me in terms of what the status is of what they're working on. And that leads to me not having that single source of truth that would give me a lot more confidence. Right? And all of that leads to, I feel like I look foolish sometimes in meetings, particularly with my stakeholders, when it looks like I don't know what's going on, when I'm thinking, gosh, I have all these people working on all these different things. How can I not know what's going on? So let me give you my secrets. I'm going to give you my 3 secrets for driving launch readiness. Secret number 1, I'm going to show you how to set up a proven launch readiness tracking system in just a few hours. It's not going to take you weeks. You're not going to need the project management office to help you. You can do it by yourself. Secret number 2, I'm going to show you how to easily manage your launch readiness in 30 minutes a day, maybe even less than 30 days. And in secret number 3 is I'm going to show you how to get crystal clear visibility in launch readiness without constantly nagging people. The follow-ups, the phone calls, the message on Confluence or Slack or whatever you use. All right, so what's the old way? Well, the old way is I got to have more meetings. Apparently, that launch didn't go so well because I didn't meet with my team frequently enough, or maybe my meetings weren't long enough. You know what? These tools aren't working. Let's go get some new tools. And now everybody has to learn something new. Well, it's got to be I got to work harder. Apparently, I think I'm pretty smart, but maybe I just didn't put the hours in to make it happen. And ultimately, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem in all of this. But you're not. It's how you're approaching it. So let me show you the new way of dealing with this. And if any of you came from a development background, you may find some of this very, very familiar. We're just spinning it specifically for launch readiness, and that is a visual workflow. Now, visual workflow works by using something called Kanban boards. I know everybody on this session right now has heard that term Kanban board at least one time in their work career. Kanban means visual signal. So what you're seeing here are a series of 5 lists. And these lists are used to manage the flow of work. So you get to visually see the work flowing from the very beginning when it's just on the list to all the way to completion. You only need five lists in this board. I'm going to share them with you. The first one is the not started. Exactly what it means. These are a bunch of things that haven't been started yet. Second board is up next. And the up next board actually has some special characteristics. It means any activity, task, or deliverable that you've listed in up next is ready to be worked on. The conditions have been met. The third list is the in progress list, and that list is work that's actually being worked on. So Dave was available to do some new work. He reached over into the up next queue, he grabs something, he starts working on it. Now, the fourth list is ready for review. For things that require a sign-off, somebody has to verify that the work is complete. It sits there until somebody reviews it. And then finally is the complete list, which is exactly what it says. It's completed. So we run the full gamut of workflow from it hasn't been started to it's complete. Now, the things that are in each of these lists are referred to as cards. So you could call it a task, you could call it an item, but in true Kanban fashion, they're called cards. And so each of these cards contains the information necessary to do the task that's written on the card. Right? And these cards move, as I mentioned, across this flow from left to right. Now, let's focus on card number 3 in the not started list. Let's say that's the one you want to move up to the up next queue. So what you'd do is you'd review that task, the information that's on that card, determine if the conditions are ready for it to be worked on, and if so, you move it into the up next queue. Now, a resource that actually does the work will occasionally, when that person has available time, will look over to the up next queue, and the thing that's on the top is the thing that they would work on next. If they have the skill and the knowledge and for that task, they would move it over to the in progress list. So that signals that someone is now working on it. When they complete that task, they move it into the ready for review queue, and whoever it is that's supposed to review it takes care of that. But it's off their list now. The in progress is moved to ready for review. Now the reviewer looks at it and makes one of two decisions. Either it's complete, it's good to go, and moves it over to the complete list. If not, then they push it back into the in progress list. All right. Now, I have been using Demand Metric to do this. So my friends at Demand Metric have been sharing with me how they do things, and I really like. I'll show you a few things of why I really like this. But there are other tools that you can use to build Kanban boards. There are many software packages available to do this today. So you'll see here on this Demand Metric board, which they call a project, there are 5 lists, just like I had. So the statuses are the same as I just showed you. Not started, next up, in progress, ready for review, and complete. Now, I want you to draw your attention to some of the things that are on these cards, these like little squares that have colors on them, and some of the cards have up arrows and down arrows. So item number 3 has a green dot and a red dot. So I'm going to click on that and see a little bit more about that information. When I click on it, I get the task detail. So I've got everything from a description of what this task is all about, any detail that's needed for the person to work on it. This particular task is currently not being worked on. You could see it's red, it's blocked. And the reason is I'm unable to continue with this item until the cafeteria is restocked with snacks. So until someone goes to Costco and gets snacks and restocks the snack bar or the cafeteria, that task isn't going anywhere. So over on the right, there's more detail. You'll see that it's in the in progress list. It has a normal priority. You could set a scheduling date, but the tags is what I really want to show you. This particular case for this board, I've set up 4 tags, only 4 tags. One is blocked, and then the other 3 are KR1, KR2, KR3. Those represent key results from objectives and key results. Now, we don't have enough time to go into OKRs at all in this session, and if you want to, just let me know in the queue. And I'll put something together on OKRs. Maybe I'll get somebody to co-host with me. But you can upload files and everything else here. But what I really want to show is the blocked. And here's why I want to show it to you. It's this management part. Trying to figure out where everything is, right? What's the state of what's being worked on? Well, the beautiful thing about Kanban boards is they're visible. They're visible to everyone on the team. And so one of the things you can do as a launch director, you're trying to figure out, let's say you want to know what tasks are blocked. Well, one of the things you can do in most of the Kanban boards, and you can certainly do this here as I can show you, is you can filter all of the tasks on all of the boards and roll them all up. So I could go in here and go to a task filter and click blocked. I only want to see those tasks that are blocked, and it will only show me those tasks that are blocked. All the other tasks will be hidden. So I can turn this on and off, and I can see different states. I could look at status. Show me all the things that are ready for review. Show me all the things by their priority, by task owner, and so forth. And the other beautiful thing is you can roll it all up. Now, I've attempted to do this in other tools, and I found it very difficult. But in demand metrics approach, they have a different concept. So it automatically all rolls up, and you can see the status of each functional area at a glance. How many tasks need to be worked on, how many are done, and it shows me a status bar. But it looks conceptually like this. I've got multiple launch readiness Kanban boards. Each one is for a functional area. Here you see legal, sales, product, all the way up to marketing. And what I want to see is I want to see that roll-up view. So if everybody's using the same set of rules, I can see it all in a roll-up very, very easily. Much easier than using standard project management software like MS Project and the like. All right, so I shared with you my 3 secrets. There are, secret 1 is how to set up a system, and I showed you how to do that. It's pretty straightforward, actually. I didn't go into any detail because I swear to you, it took me less than 30 minutes just to set up what I showed you. And then secret number 2 is how to manage it. I can just look at the status, the tags, or anything, and easily manage very quickly. Or if somebody had a question, hey, Julie just quit. Could you look and see real quick how much work was committed to her, so we can see how we can backfill that? Boom, in a second I can figure that out. And I can also see all of the really good information that's available in real time. Right? And it doesn't require a lot of training for everybody. They move a card, they click on it, they make a few selections, they type something in. It's easy. Anybody can do it. Now, here's the thing, though. We've only spent a little bit of time. I mean, according to my clock here, I've been talking for about 20 minutes. I didn't intend for it to be a really long, drawn-out, boring webinar. What I wanted to do is to throw out some ideas for everybody, show you some of my secrets, and then have a discussion about it. But one of the things I put together is a package. And I know we've only spent 20, 25 minutes together with this, showing you some great stuff and how to do it, how to manage your launch readiness. But I'd really like it if we could continue this conversation. I feel like I could add so much more. This is only 2 of my secrets. I've got hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them. So I put together a package. I hope it's okay if I share it with you. Would that be okay? Any thumbs up, thumbs down? Is it okay if I show you what I put together for you? Got a thumbs up there. Yeah, thumbs up there. Great. I'll go through it quickly. I'm not a sales guy, so that's not my strength. So here's what I did. I put together. Obviously, we have a class. It's the launch master class. It's the on-demand version, and I sell that for $7.95. So that's a $7.95 value. It's just to give an idea what you get in there. And I know some of you have been following me, but there's a lot of great stuff. There's over 12 modules. There's over 34 lessons in growing, and there's over 30 worksheets in growing. And that's sold every day for $7.95. And there's a ton of great stuff there. Now, when you're doing a launch, most people think about, well, what's my launch plan? What is my launch plan? Well, that's just one part of many things that go into planning a successful launch. So the way my philosophy is this: through a lot of trial and error, planning and executing a launch is not done in just the plan alone. A launch is not a process. It's a collection of processes. And I put those collection of processes together in something I call the Brain Grab Product Launch Framework. And that framework will help you put everything into a logical flow and logical order. And the class shows you how to put all of that stuff together. Right. In addition to the Launch Masterclass for $7.95, I've added 3 one-hour private coaching sessions. So if you're taking the class and you have a question, and you just need questions. This is one-on-one time with me, no one else, just me. And I can give you some feedback on your artifacts, your deliverables you're working on. I can just discuss general challenges like maybe soft skill kind of things, like how do I deal with this situation? And those things combined are worth $1,095, so $1,995. Now, so that wasn't enough. So in addition to the launch masterclass on demand at $795 and the private coaching sessions at $1,200 value, I've added in, my friends at Demand Metric have authorized me to allow you to have a 3-month trial. They don't do these normally. So I've worked out with the founder, Jesse Hops. He says, look, give them a 3-month trial. And so what does that mean? Well, you've only seen a little tiny piece of what they can do. But at a minimum, of course, you're going to get your project boards for your team. What I'm working on with Demand Metric is to automate that framework into Demand Metric. So with smart projects, and upload the templates and worksheets and lay it all out to you. I just got completed 2 days ago with a complete breakdown, task by task, numerically ordered, so it would just pre-populate it for you. So in addition to that, if you're unfamiliar with Demand Metric, they have over 1,000 worksheets, templates, and playbooks in marketing and development and product management, just tons of stuff. It's very impressive. So that's a total value of $1,995, actually $2,886, $2,886. My bad. So here's the way I look at it. If all this did was just help you reduce the amount of time and the amount of effort it takes to manage launch readiness, do you think it would be worth it? If it simplified the complexity of managing launch readiness, and that alone would do it for me, would it be worth it? And then the third is, if all this did was give you more accurate launch readiness status for your stakeholders, which is a big one, would it be worth it? I think it would be worth it if I added a bullet that said I could reduce the number of meetings I had in a month. That would make me all happy. So here's what I've got. I've got this for you today. So this is available between now and Monday. So just it's a short period, I know. You can get started at braincraft.com/go. It's very simple. You go to that page and take off. So it's $697. The class alone I normally sell, of course, for $795. So with that, what I'd like to do is share with you my thought process here. So I had two choices with this package. So choice number one is I could just dump it and go cheap and try to sell as many as possible. But as I thought through that, I said, that doesn't give me much incentive to really allow you to be successful. So I thought if I could just require a little bit higher investment, that would give me the incentive that I need to really put the resources at play to make you successful. You have two choices too. Your first choice is you can keep doing things the old way, and it's certainly 100% risk-free. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But if you take a leap of faith and see what a huge impact I can help you have on your next product launch, I think you'll be really, really happy. And just to sweeten the pot, I have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So after 30 days, if you're feeling like this is not working for you, just let me know. I'll gladly refund your money, because if you're not getting value, I shouldn't get any value. And that's just as simple as it should be. All right. So you get all that for $695. And what I want to do now is just open it up to any questions that you have. It could be about the package. It could be about the technique we just covered. Anything you want to talk about. So I am wide open. Yeah, Ah, yeah. How about this? I'll do even better. How about I get out of this screen and I actually log on to it and I'll play with it rather than having screenshots? Are you good with that? Yeah. So, yeah, I like that better too, I'll tell you the truth. All right, so let me go to a browser. Hopefully there's nothing embarrassing showing. There's not. Okay. In Demand Metric, they have the concept of folders and projects. So a folder would be like this. It's high level, and it's like a container for project boards, right? So these are the actual ones I mocked up that I showed you in the screen grab. And so what I can do here is I can look at any individual project like this one. This is what I'm working on right now with the tasks, right? And I've added some priorities, and this one actually has here's an example of one that has a checklist of stuff, right? You got to do this, and this in order for that task to be complete. So I'm looking at just one board, but go over here to the menu. So here's that sidebar again that you saw. And now what I can do is I can click any number of these projects and I can see one view of all of them. Does that help? So now, see, yeah, because the thing that I always got frustrated with is you got a board, I got a board, 18 other people have their own boards. Now, how do I roll them up? Right? How do I get that one common picture? This is how they've solved that problem. Now, the other filters I can look at is I can say, what are my top priority ones? I can look at what's assigned to me. That was the other issue. I don't know if you guys have this. The other issue I would have is I'd be the one managing the project, or I'd have someone from the PMO, the project management office, managing the project. And somebody on the launch team would say, I need a list of the things that I'm supposed to work on. And I'm like, can't you just click on the project and see it yourself? And then I'd wind up, either myself or my project manager would wind up being secretaries for some of the team members because they couldn't get the information themselves, or they didn't want to bother to learn how to do it. So they would ask us to do it. But there are other filters too, like you saw the tags, right? I could say, show me all of the blocked, right? So they're all the same because I duplicated them, but you get the idea here, right? So these are all the blocked tasks. I can look at, show me only the ones that are these are the ones in progress. Let me get rid of that tag. Let me go to status. I can say, show me the ones that are ready for review. I've got 5 ready for review across those. I color coded them so you can see different boards that they're on. Okay. Anything else you want me to want to see while I'm here? You can see that big view. The other thing I think is actually quite cool is this table view. So you can see if the board view doesn't work for you, you can always go to a table view and see it that way. I'm a board kind of guy. I have boards for my house chores. So just to give you an idea how nerdy I am. All right. Any other questions? That was a great question. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Yeah, well, in a team environment, let's say that you are doing, you're responsible for sales ops, and I'm responsible for readying. So there's a little bit of a philosophical backdrop to this that I'll share with you, Vasu. So the way that I approach this on my launch team is, if you were a member of my launch team, you're on my launch team because you have a certain subject matter expertise or know-how, about a certain area, right? So let's say you're the person that is going to help with readying sales operations. Well, you would have a board for sales ops, and then we would put that. Let me go back to it again. Let's see, here we go. There we go. Let me move myself out of the way. How's that? There we go. All right. So what we would do is we would set up a folder. Let's go here. We would set up a folder, and in that folder, we would have everything for that one launch. So I would see your sales ops project in there, your Kanban board. I would see mine. I would see Robert's. I would see Nancy's. I would see whomever, right? Anita. I'd see them all laid out there. The beauty that I was just, right, the thing that I was just showing Robert is, because it has that higher level container of a folder, then I can view all of the boards within the folder in one view. So if I've got sales ops working on one thing. Now, okay, let me take this one step further. Let's say that Nancy's responsible for marketing readiness. So she's on point to make sure that they're ready for the launch. She'll create a board. It'll have the things that she needs. Now, marketing themselves may have their own way of managing how they do things. All we want to know is, what's the workflow? Are you working on it yet? Is it blocked? Is it ready for review? Right? So they can, it doesn't impede their ability to do work. They can continue on for as long as they want, and they can use the tools that they want. All they have to do is simply go over to the board. They can either tell Nancy, or they can go to the board themselves and move the card from one state to the next state, right? From one list to the next. That's a great question. Yeah, that's the thing that was missing for me in some of the other Kanban boards, is I couldn't get that roll up without creating a roll up board and then connecting them together. And I felt that was adding a little bit too much overhead for me personally. Yeah. It makes it easier for mere mortals to understand what the heck is going on. That's what it really boils down to. Someone looks at a Gantt chart and they're just overwhelmed. They're like, well, where am I in this? And where's my team in this? And some parts of the business can look at it and completely decompose it and go, boom, there's the problem right there, right? I was a former developer. We use tools like this, and I could see that. But most of the people I had on my launch teams, they're like, yeah, no, why don't you just tell me what I need to do next? Give me a list. Send me an email. Right? So, and you'd be surprised at how many organizations across the planet still function that way. Even in technology. Maybe you wouldn't be surprised. All right. It is, yeah. Yeah, it's completely SaaS. And so, anyway, I can put all of it together for you, the class, the sessions, the demand metric, all of that. So, in one sweet package. So that's your call. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a sales guy. So I don't get involved in a lot of salesiness. I just say, here's what I got. So, any thoughts, any comments? Got a launch coming up? Mm-hmm. Right. Now, if you're interested, or if and you can follow up with me, after this session. But I also have a live version of this, and it's intended for companies and groups because I start the on demand and I go slow, you go and you go fast, and now we're not in sync. And so the way that the live version of the masterclass goes is we focus on your launch. So we basically cover all the material over a period of weeks, and it's 4 weeks. And so week 1 is we cover a certain amount of content. Your team has some assignments, work to do that are relevant and applicable to your launch. And then what we do is we review that with office hours. The on-demand class has office hours too, but the difference is the live version has private office hours. So we break out some time to review the work in progress, the artifacts, and then we pick it up the next week. And the idea is that we flow through that framework to get you through to a point where you go, I got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and where my gaps are, and how I'm going to close them. So we can talk about that separately if you'd like. So that one's pretty cool because we can also use that opportunity to adapt things like the tool set that you have, and the things that are missing and what people are using today. And my big problem with tools is not that I don't have the right one. I've got too many of them in the company. Like marketing's using this, and the professional service team is using something else, and these things don't work together. So everyone comes to the table with their laptops and does screenshots and say, here you go, here's what we're working on, and put it on the projector. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be a hard thing. If marketing wants to continue to use what they're using to manage their workflow within marketing, let them use it. It's fine. We're not going to step on their toes. All right, everybody. Any more questions? I'll stick around as long as you have questions. I'm easy. I love talking about this stuff. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stop the recording now, and want to thank thank you for being here, and thanks for the great questions and the feedback. And I'll get it edited and thrown up. By the way, on Monday, I have the latest version of the masterclass going live. It's version 4.5, I believe it is. Yeah, 4.5, which adds a whole bunch of new content. So, and by Monday, I should also have the SMART project and all the tasks and all that stuff put in place too. All right. So thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, no, wait a minute. I actually had some confetti. There you go. How's that? All right. Bye-bye. Have a good one.